Good evening, everyone. Namaste, Happy Navratri, and Shubho Shashti. I'm Vandana Lulla, Academic Advisor at Cambridge International Education. On behalf of the Cambridge International team, I warmly welcome you all to today's webinar. Thank you for joining us to explore how the Cambridge curriculum can empower your child's future. As parents, you play a vital role in shaping the educational journey, and we are honored to support you in this endeavor. Before we begin, a few housekeeping rules to share with. To ensure a productive and respectful webinar experience, please keep your microphone muted unless speaking. The webcam usage is optional. Please use the chat box for Q&A and comments. Please keep questions concise and relevant. Please do not share sensitive information. Please notify the moderator if experiencing difficulties. We'll also have a dedicated Q&A session to address your concern. With any further ado, let's begin today our webinar based on the topic for today's discussion on exploring Cambridge primary and lower secondary curriculum for your child, which is for grades 1 to 8. This informative session aims to empower parents with a deeper understanding of the Cambridge curriculum and its transformative benefits for their child's future. Discover how this internationally recognized curriculum seamlessly integrates with India's educational landscape, preparing students for success worldwide. It would help you understand how Cambridge's adaptable approach caters to individual needs, fostering all-round development and well-rounded growth. Additionally, we will explore the unique Cambridge assessments that drive students' progress and achieve exceptional outcomes. By attending this session, you will gain valuable insights into how Cambridge education equips the learners for excellence in both national and international academic environments, unlocking their full potential for a bright, successful future. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Vandana Lulla. It's an honor to introduce Dr. Vandana Lulla, an educationist with over 2 decades of visionary leadership. As Director of Poddar Group of International Schools and Dean of Poddar World College, a recognized center of University of London and London School of Economics and Political Science, Dr. Lulla has left an impressive mark on the educational landscape. Her recent appointment to the Board of Trustees of the prestigious Council of International Schools underscores her commitment to excellence. As a CIS accredited educator, Dr. Lulla has assessed schools across India, Thailand, Hong Kong, China, and Indonesia, promoting best practices globally. Appointed by Education Development Trust in London, Dr. Vandana has inspected over 200 schools, demonstrating her expertise in evaluating educational institutions. Additionally, as a validated trainer for the British Council, she has empowered more than 200 principals and teachers across India with innovative teaching methods. Under Dr. Lulla's leadership, Poddar International School has consistently produced world and India toppers in Cambridge and University of London examinations, a testament to her academic rigor and innovative approach. Her doctorate in managing students with special educational needs has enabled her to improve performance for 300 students with learning difficulties, harnessing technology to create inclusive learning environments. Dr. Lulla's numerous accolades include honorary fellowship from University of London for outstanding contributions, Rajya Puraskar Award from Maharashtra State Government for selfless service, Global Accreditation Award from British Council for research on developing higher order thinking skills, Mahatma Gandhi Leadership Award for exceptional services in education. Poddar International School, under Dr. Lulla's guidance, ranks #1 in parental involvement and has secured multiple Best School Awards from Digital Learning, Hindustan Times, and Educational World. Dr. Vandana's passion for community service and education is unwavering. Her dedication inspires us all to strive for excellence. Please join me in recognizing Dr. Vandana Lulla's remarkable achievements and contribution to the world of education. Welcome, Dr. Vandana Lulla.
Thank you, Brunali, for the lovely introduction. And It's amazing to see so many good evening messages coming in the chat box. Good evening to all my friends and colleagues. It's a pleasure to see you all this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Before we begin our discussion today and our conversation on Cambridge Primary and Lower Secondary, let's understand what Cambridge International Education is. Is my presentation visible? Thank you so much for that thumbs up, Dr. Vandana. So why Cambridge, after all? Definitely, it helps your child to be ready for the world. We always say that Cambridge comes with international curriculum, teaching and learning, assessments, international recognition, global communication, and of course, it builds the global community over there. It prepares your learner ready for the world. It works with schools worldwide to build an education that shapes knowledge, understanding, and skills. It's the qualifications that are recognized and valued worldwide. It opens doors to world of opportunities, and more than 2,220 universities in over 90 countries formally recognize Cambridge qualifications. It's a flexible program tailored to meet your child's need. It's a high quality resources are available to keep your child engaged, and definitely with over 160 years experience in delivering fair, valid, and reliable assessments to students worldwide, Cambridge offers a globally recognized performance standard for international education. It's a part of the community experts. As a Cambridge school, we are part of a global community of learners for more than 10,000 schools in 160 countries. It leaves learners with a lasting impact for learning. So as a Cambridge learner, your child will build subject knowledge and conceptual understanding, which is the most needed at this time. What about the Cambridge pathway? Let's have a quick look at the Cambridge pathway that is available. So it's a clear path for educational success ranging from age 3 to 19. So there are 5 stages which are available. Cambridge early years, which is definitely from the nursery to the upper KG, which is there. Cambridge primary for grades 1 to 5. Cambridge lower secondary, the middle school section for grades 6 to 8. Cambridge upper secondary, which leads to Cambridge IGCSE examinations for grades 9 and 10, and Cambridge advanced for grades 11 and 12. We believe that education helps learners thrive and make a positive impact in a changing world. With this, we begin our discussion today with Dr. Vandana Lulla with us. It's an honor and a privilege for us to have you with us, ma'am, today. So we always know that Cambridge, of course, offers different kinds of qualifications which are there. And we see that Cambridge prepares students as holistic learners. So would you like to inform our parents and let our parents know that not only academically, but also socially and emotionally, Cambridge comes up with a more holistic approach towards education?
Okay, I think it's a lovely question. And I think to all the parents in the room, just for you to know that the Cambridge curriculum adapts to the individual needs of the students and meets the needs of all the students. Now, how does it ensure the well-being of the students is priority? So there are various ways that Cambridge ensures the holistic development of the students. First is Cambridge has introduced a well-being curriculum. And I think that's a big key positive aspect to, if you look at the well-being curriculum, it talks about understanding myself, understanding my relationships, understanding navigating the world and understanding the world. I think that's the best thing that Cambridge has done by introducing the well-being curriculum. The second part of the holistic development for all students is about Cambridge gives a wide choice of subjects to these students. If you look at primary, middle, and if you look at IGCSE or A levels, there's around 70 subjects in the room for people to have that kind of choices depending on their interest, on their likes, what is it that they want to pursue. The third aspect of the Cambridge curriculum is that they have a lot of formative assessments and summative, but formative assessments are continuous. So they include some kind of coursework, some kind of projects, and regular feedback. Okay, that's the key of the Cambridge program. So I think it's not based on one exam, but the formative assessments is what really, again, keeping in mind, various kind of learners, various kinds of students. So I think the balanced approach of the Cambridge curriculum nurtures not only academic excellence, but also emotional and psychological well-being of the children. For example, I have students who feel that I'm not very good in this subject. Can I move to this subject? So there is all that kind of choices in the Cambridge curriculum. So it does adapt to the individual needs of these students.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. Cambridge not only talks about the academic rigor that is there, the academic requirement, it also takes care of the social and emotional part, which is there right from the very early years program, that's from pre-nursery, nursery, in the kindergarten, and all across the grades that we see at the Cambridge primary, lower secondary. So it's completely incorporating also the need that academics is required. That's the base, of course. And along with that, we need to also have the social and emotional well-being of that learner, which is there. With this, I think you talked about the subjects which are there, and Cambridge Primary and Lower Secondary offers an array of subjects. There are different kinds of subjects, around 11 subjects which Cambridge offers. And these subjects can be integrated with the subjects which the school also wants to offer. So that's why we say that Cambridge program is flexible and adaptable also, depending on the local, national, and the global context that we see. On this note, my next question to you is that, can you share examples of certain subjects or different kinds of subjects which the curriculum offers, which helps to achieve a balance which is there? That means it talks about the skills, it talks about the academics, it talks about the application based learning that we talk about.
So I must tell the parents in the room that the Cambridge curriculum actually has a very great balance. It's not content heavy. It is more skill based. It's more concept based, and it's well integrated. You don't learn, for example, in maths, there's a strand, thinking and working mathematically, which encourages students to apply the mathematical concepts to real world situations. So for example, in the primary, when they learn about time, we show them various times zones of the world, and we show them various timetables of flights or train and how they analyze that data. Not only that, students do a survey, do an interview, and they learn about data handling. So it's an integrated curriculum. It's not a separate curriculum. Similarly, in science, thinking and working scientifically focuses on literally the inquiry-based learning strategy, where students conduct experiments, ask questions, develop hypotheses. So they, in one of the concepts, I remember they were investigating the impact of climate change in the world. I mean, it was so nice to see how they do come up with various perspectives. They do soil analysis. They made atoms and, models of atoms and DNA. So it is basically thinking and working scientifically. It's not two separate things that we see in most curriculums. So the curriculum is absolutely balanced between the academic aspect and, of course, the application-based learning or application-based approach. So I think it's a fabulous curriculum which incorporates all these strands very beautifully. So I think it's something that the children really enjoy and engage in this both subjects. And of course, they integrate all aspects of different subjects in the curriculum.
Thank you. So that also brings me to another subject like global perspective, which is there.
Yes.
So, Dr. Vandana, if you can just highlight a few key aspects of that how does it really build a learner the skills that is necessary?
I think the curriculum global perspective is one of the best curriculums that children enjoy, where they think and come up first with a global issue. They look at where is this global issue, what is the global issue that we need to talk about, and then they get to work in teams individually and in groups, and they find out what is a solution to this global issue. So global perspective is a fabulous subject which is having a holistic approach. It helps students not only to grow academically, but also emotionally intelligent, okay? Because they get equipped to handle the challenges that the world is facing. So they talked about what are the challenges that the world is facing. And I think global perspective subject is one of the key subjects that children enjoy doing. And they come up with fabulous ideas. They did a project on carbon footprint, and it was really nice to see how they managed to work individually, and there's a group project. So that develops their skills of communication, collaboration, interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills. So I think, again, that is a great subject where the children achieve a balance of all the skills and grow abundantly.
Wonderful. So you mean to say there is a kind of a transformation of these children as they grow right from the primary to the lower secondary and then move up to the high school level?
Yes, absolutely.
And what I understand from what you have said is definitely what we talk about hands-on learning is what is integrated in the classroom, and it's practiced in the classroom every single day by the teachers.
Yes.
Okay. So with this, I understand that means the Cambridge is an international curriculum which is there. So how do you think the Cambridge curriculum prepares students for a national and international career and maintaining, of course, the Indian educational pattern as well? How is this balance maintained?
So I think the Cambridge offers a very comprehensive curriculum which strikes a perfect balance between academic excellence and personal growth, fostering well-rounded individuals. I think it's very important to understand that Cambridge curriculum, like I said in the beginning, it's not about memorizing. It's about understanding. It is skill-based and concept-based. When something is skill-based, then it is important to develop. The curriculum supports the students to develop their critical thinking, their analytical thinking, their problem-solving skills. And these are skills that are required when you go up the ladder, maybe in IGCSE A-levels, and also higher education. And when we say locally and globally, and I say globally, definitely also locally, because it is so comprehensive, it is a globally recognized curriculum ensuring smooth transitions between Indian education pathways and international education. So basically, if you see in language, you develop certain skills, listening, speaking, reading, writing, in maths, mathematical skills, in science, scientific investigations. So it is definitely a great continuum, and there is quite a easy transition between international and Indian education pathways. However, the approaches of the Cambridge curriculum allow students to foster curiosity and independent study skills. I think that's the big difference between the two, but there's a smooth transition for the same. So the balance prepares students for both national and international opportunities, catering to the development of the skills required anywhere in the world.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. I think over there you mentioned a very important word, that's curiosity, building curiosity. So that's what we are all aiming at for our learners today. And with this, I think we'll move on over here. And my next question to is, if you could share some of the success stories of your students from your institution, from your school, that how have they transitioned and how has this metamorphosis in them have happened, right from the when they have come to your school at the primary stage in grade 1, maybe in grade 2, grade 3, and they have moved higher up in the lower secondary and then into the IGCSE ESA level, and today out into the world that we see, the changing world that we all talk about.
So it's interesting stories I can share of many students, because I've been at Pudar for now nearly 2 decades and we've done this curriculum. The journey is very different when they come in. Many students who come in, they're very shy, they are introvert, and when they get into the program, especially when they get into the primary program, and when they learn to develop their skills, okay, from the primary curriculum to the middle school curriculum, that's a lower secondary curriculum, they get exposed to the higher level skills. So first they do simple research skills, simple communication skills, but as they grow up into the curriculum, they are changed individuals. They're no longer shy. They love to express. So they have a wall in every class where they have students' questions, and they have a wonder wall in the classroom. So you will see that how the children who come in as shy, introvert individuals are transformed after doing the Cambridge curriculum. They are exposed to so many skills, right? Like from the collaboration skills, they work in teams, they work in groups, research skills, interpersonal skills, and the curriculum emphasis on critical thinking. So you will see that they also build their resilience, and open dialogue helps them to expose themselves to bigger things, taking leadership roles. So we had Arjun Bajaj, who joined the school. And then when he was in grade 7, he wanted to do only IT. Later, he felt, I want to do business studies, and he took up business studies. Today, he runs his own company called Hayden Labs, where they work on cloud computing and designing IoT applications. So I remember Arjun as a very shy child, never used to talk, but changed person today. Another student who was Angela, who came from a very different kind of an environment. He did his Cambridge primary, then middle school, IGCSE, A-levels. Now he's a doctor in Birmingham, and he's a pediatric, and he's doing very well for himself. We have another student, Om, who's a dentist. We have Zinia Singh, who works in Google, and we have Amrita Date, whose parents both are doctors. She did her, again, primary year, middle year, IGCSE, A-levels, and she's doing her PhD in Imperial College, UK. So the students are everywhere. We have Ria Kher, who's also a student who started in primary. Today, she's a successful banker in UK for Berkeley's. So we have students who are placed in prestigious organization and prestigious positions around the globe. I'm proud to say that they came in as very shy students. For example, Ria Kher, because she learned the skills here, when she went to King's College in UK, she became the head of all the clubs. Then she came on the dean's list. So she wrote to me, ma'am, without sitting in the class, I was promoted to the next class. So they also got credits. You know, they proved themselves better than many other students in the cohort. The curriculum gave them that wings to fly. And I say that Cambridge literally pushes you and, shows you how to fulfill the dreams and aspirations of these students. So I think that's what I am proud to say. Most of our students are placed in the top universities and have now started to work with top organizations.
It's wonderful to hear these stories and the lovely learning journey of your students, Dr. Vandana. So do you think that Cambridge assessments actually support the learning journey of these students, and how does it help parents and teachers? If you could just talk about it to our parents a little bit.
Yeah. So I think the Cambridge assessments offer a detailed breakdown of skills and knowledge. And I think that's the best part of this curriculum, allowing teachers to understand each student's. So there's a report card that comes that these are the skills that are your strengths, and this is what are your areas to work on. So it's very clearly, very specifically a diagnostic kind of a test that comes in, and children and teachers and parents and students themselves can know what are their strengths and what are their areas of development. The focus is not just on performance, but identifying the learning gaps that can be addressed through targeted support. And I think that's one of the key factors of the Cambridge assessments. And the report card achievement levels are basic, aspiring, good, high, and outstanding. So this clearly helps teachers to create individual learning plans that foster long-term academic growth. So if by middle school, in the lower primary or in the lower secondary curriculum, I know that this child has done well in this topic cells in bio, but needs help in plants, then I know I need to plan my academic path for this child on that journey, so that I can easily target what he can do and get at grade 10th IGCSE and further on. So it's very wonderful to see the performance bands that Cambridge has for checkpoint assessments, which categorize very clearly student performance into different levels of achievement, providing a detailed feedback and grade scores. So I think it's absolutely comprehensive level of understanding knowledge and skills of the curriculum content, and next steps of how you can take the child up to the next level.
That's wonderful to know that there is kind of a learning strategy that has been designed for each of the learners. So that means every single learner is actually given an importance. So that's what the school and the teachers do, along with the parents, going hand in hand with the parents and giving that support to the parents, because our parents are the most important stakeholders. They are equally involved in the learner's learning journey as well, their kids' journey, of
Absolutely.
course. Yes. So taking it further from here, how does the child's transition, how do parents can best support, and what can be the role of a parent over here to support the child when there is a transition that's happening? A lot of questions are coming up for that as well. So and are there any kind of resources which the parents can look up and read and understand as to from where they can know more about the Cambridge program?
The most important part of the Cambridge website and Cambridge resources, it has everything there for parents. There are parent guides, there are materials, there are school resources, and there's comprehensive detailed curriculum and the expectations at every stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. So very clearly, Cambridge is an open website. It's not that anybody can go and open the website and see all the 6 paths that we have: primary, early years, primary, lower secondary, IGCSE, and A levels. And I think parents can easily view that and also go through the parents' guide. It's easily available to them. I strongly feel that parents should encourage students to ask questions, explore topics that interest them, and foster the love of reading. I think all the reading materials that are there, that's what they need to support them. And I think there are everyday activities. There are many examples of what you can do at home, what you can do at school, and you can support your child to continue to arouse the curiosity of the children. Very hands-on examples, hands-on experiences that parents can provide and support their children. And I think if their children are in any school, schools conduct a lot of orientation, school materials are there. So Cambridge is very open access, and that's what I love. You don't have to worry about access to resources. It's all there for the parents.
Wonderful to know that parents can definitely help their child in this form of learning which is there, and it makes things much easier for them as well, because they also need to know as to how to help the child. And of course, as you said, that the most important thing is to not stop them from questioning. That's one of the most important role that as parents have to play, and as teachers also has to play over here. And there are resources from Cambridge which has a lot of materials for parents as well, which is available. So parents can definitely read that and go through that and understand that, and help in building those gaps which are there for the learners. And the schools, of course, keep on supporting the parents. So moving further, Dr. Vandana, so how does the Cambridge curriculum also prepare students for success in future international academic environments? So a lot of, I'll take up a few more questions along with this. Is it only for the international programs, or also within the country, that in India also the Cambridge students can stay back and study and learn for their higher education? Hello, am I audible?
So I think the question was, how do you prepare students for the success in the future? Success
in the future, both at the international level and at the national level, also within the country.
I think today, so I think in today's fast-paced and unpredictable VUCA world that we are in, volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous, I say, world, being adaptable is key to success. The Cambridge curriculum is designed to help students to ensure that they develop the 21st century skills and come up with innovative solutions. The curriculum also ensures that the communication skills, the collaboration skills, and the technology skills, and the most important, the leadership qualities are developed. It prepares students to get away from their comfort zone and adapt to new challenges. The very fact that Cambridge has now introduced interesting subjects like design and thinking, marine science, well-being, digital literacy, I think these open up, kind of different venues for our learners. And I think the transition from where the child is to the Cambridge curriculum can be definitely enhanced by connecting the learner attributes. I talk about the learner attributes of Cambridge curriculum: innovative, reflective, responsible, confident, engaged. I said that when you do the Cambridge curriculum, you definitely develop the Cambridge learner attributes. And I think that is what prepares the students for the future. How to think. Reflective is by encouraging children how to think about their learning experiences and understanding what works well for them, what they identify as their strengths, and what they want them to improve. So I've seen that children, when they are doing a particular concept, like they're talking about world affairs, so they will think of what is good, what is it that we need to work on, so you will see that they're very reflective in their learning. Innovative, students make innovative projects, create their own books, write stories, write poems. So I feel that the learner attributes that we talk about in the Cambridge program, responsible, instilling a sense of responsibility in the child by encouraging them to take ownership of their own learning. So you know what? In a Cambridge curriculum at school, we encourage students are taught to set their goals. What is it that I want to gain? What are the goals that I want to achieve? Manage time effectively and be accountable for their actions. So responsible, I think the most important Cambridge learner attribute. And the next one is confident, building the child's confidence by celebrating their achievements, both big and small, encouraging them to voice their opinions and take on new challenges. So students participate in debates in an English class. They make presentations in all the various subjects. They participate in sports. They participate in competitions. So they become confident. Finally, engaged is another major Cambridge learner attribute. Foster a sense of engagement in every class. Encourage children to actively participate in their learning journey. Students design and participate in their own discussions, group projects, and ensure that all the students are engaged. The pedagogies that we use in a Cambridge curriculum is very important. We keep think, pair, share, jigsaw, problem-based learning, inquiry-based learning. So if you use the various teaching strategies, just a simple mind map, you make 2 concentric circles and you say, okay, now look at what is common in this and in this concept, in this, what are the differences? So I think the learner attributes of Cambridge actually prepares them for the future.
Wonderful to hear about that, Dr. Vandana. I think you have summed it up very well for our parents, that the 5 learner attributes that we talk about in Cambridge, being confident, responsible, reflective, innovative, and engaged, that brings up our learners, it develops in our learners as they pass through the journey. To add on to this, I would say it is these Cambridge attributes are not only for the learners, but it is also for the teachers as well. The teachers are equally trained and equipped to have these kinds of attributes in them as they move on into the Cambridge curriculum and help the learners take this learning journey. So we can take up a few questions, Dr. Vandana.
Sure. So I think there's something like a question. Please, can you mention what kind of formative assessments? Right?
I was just about to talk about that.
Yeah. So I think, we do simple presentations, role plays, group discussions, reflective journals. In the primary portfolios, they make their own portfolio. Whatever they feel they did their best in every subject, they put it in a portfolio. That's an assessment by itself. So self-assessment, peer assessment. So those kind of little formative assessments is what we encourage in the school. So I think that was one question that came up.
I'll add on to what Dr. Vandana has said. Along with these, the Cambridge itself provides with an assessment, baseline assessment, which is there, which helps in understanding students' learning gaps, which are there, which is a skill-based assessment. Along with that, there are progression tests from Cambridge, which the school administers in the school and gives a feedback on the learning, what is happening slowly. And of course, there's a checkpoint assessment, like Dr. Vandana mentioned when she was talking about the assessment. So the checkpoint assessment happens at the end of grade 5 and at the end of grade 8 to understand where are the strengths and where are the weakness, and how does the teacher and the school along with the parents work on those learning gaps, and don't make it more wider, rather make it more smaller and minimize those gaps and help the learners to thrive better.
Yeah. Then there's a question on how can the teacher get well equipped. So we have continuous teacher training. Cambridge has very good online or face-to-face in-house trainings that we have. Lots of resources for the teachers. Cambridge Go is again platform. Resources are there. And there's also a Cambridge teacher training course. There's a complete teacher training course if any teacher wants to register for a 1-year program. So teachers have continuous teacher professional development training. So teachers are always well equipped, and Cambridge gives all the resources.
Yes, to reiterate that, I would say, so Cambridge has the professional development program, which is there, which is round the year continuously. And all teachers teaching the Cambridge curriculum have to go through these kinds of trainings on and off, starting right from the introductory level to the extended level and the enrichment level to equip themselves for this kind of pedagogy which is there. So there's a professional development qualification programs also, like Dr. Vandana said. So these help the teachers to enhance their form of teaching and learning as well over here. Moving on to another question.
How does Cambridge make students have hunger for knowledge?
Yes, I think that's a wonderful question that is there. And Dr. Vandana, I'm sure you would love to answer that.
I think a lot of simulation is there, a lot of stories, games, hands-on activities, research, differentiated activities, worksheets. You know, if you go to Cambridge Go, it has fabulous hands-on experiences for the children. So the more simulation that we give, there's more hunger for learning. So I think Cambridge ensures that students are simulated, you know, that kind of activities that are there. And like I said previously, we do a lot of collaborative pedagogies that we use in the class, you know, simple things, think, pair, share, where we say, okay, look at this problem. Now in pairs, discuss what you think about it, what you feel about it, what you see in it, what you think it should be. So there's a lot of collaboration, a lot of communication that happens. So I think there is enough opportunities for children to participate and engage in the activities that they do.
So I understand you say that Cambridge, the curriculum inside the classroom, it emphasizes on creativity, on critical thinking, on communication and collaboration, the 4 most important skill that is needed for today and definitely for our future learners, which is there. So another question which is there for, I think, from many parents that what about choosing stream and participating in the all India level exams like NEET and IIT and the others?
Okay, that's a most interesting question, very common question that most parents want to know. First of all, remember, Cambridge is a global curriculum where the students are already competing globally. Okay, that's a big picture of the Cambridge curriculum. The strands mentioned in the schemes of work and in the curriculum of maths and science enable and enhance the skills required for appearing for NEET or IIT. Recently, Cambridge has introduced in fact, earlier it had a calculator paper. Now there's a non-calculator paper for maths that caters to this requirement of NEET and JEE. There's a new program, Cambridge Connect, which supports students who basically want to develop their skills. However, I would also like to clarify, any entrance exam that you take, there's a separate preparation for it. Anything that you want to appear for any entrance exam, you have to have the separate preparation, but the Cambridge curriculum has those skills. The bridge course introduced by Cambridge are clear academic sessions to refine study skills for NEE and JEE. This course enables very clearly to cover up the skills that the students need to prepare for this JEE and NEET. So there's a bridge course that Cambridge has introduced very recently, which is a very interesting course.
Thank you, Dr. Vandana. I think to add on to that, I would say that these kinds of competitive exams which are there, it's kind of an elimination which is there because there are limited number of seats, but Cambridge talks about including all students. So it's more of an inclusive program that is there. And of course, how it builds in certain skills which are required to appear for these kinds of competitive exams, which is there. Suppose it's an unknown question from an unknown situation. So how does the learner handle that question right at that moment inside the examination hall? So does the student get stressed, or the student is able to tackle to that kind of an unknown question? So the Cambridge ACE A-level program actually prepares the students for these kinds of unknown situations which comes up, because the questions are quite different every time which is there. Another question, can you speak a little about chem assessments also, the baseline assessments which are there from Cambridge, the diagnostic tools which are there, which are more skill-based?
Yeah. So the chem assessments are taken by students who are in the lower secondary curriculum, and it basically tests what strengths you have and what are the areas that you need to improve. It's a diagnostic test. Basically, it is definitely something that the children take at the end of their program. It's a digital assessment, and students are given feedback and reports immediately. It's also useful for teachers to see what are the learning gaps and how they can ensure those learning gaps are filled. It's just a digital assessment platform for these students.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Vandana, for that. Also, I would like to add on that these are baseline assessments which are conducted from Cambridge, and it's a computer-based assessment which is there right across the pathway, and it helps. It's a skill-based. That means it talks about the numeracy skills or the literary skills or these kinds of things over there. And it helps the school to understand what are the learning needs for each of the learner, and accordingly, the school can prepare, the teachers can prepare their lessons so that it caters to all kinds of learners. We all know that there are different kinds of learners in a classroom. And as educators, we need to understand our learners and definitely help them accordingly. So with this, I think there are some parents who would like to know that how does some stories of your students who are in India, studying in India, is it possible that after IGCSE or AS and A-level, the students can study in India as well and not only go abroad or study internationally?
So let me tell you that there are many students who we're not doing this international, there's a myth that you do international curriculum to go abroad. It's not so at all. You provide this international curriculum to your child to ensure that your child's perspective improves, the 21st century skills that we talked about, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical skills, and your child is prepared for any kind of situation that happens in the world. We all know that what happened during COVID, there were so many organizations that suffered various issues during COVID. Now, how do you prepare your child for a situation like this? So you equip your child with the skills, and this curriculum actually allows you to think out of the box. So your critical thinking, your higher order thinking supports you to think out of the box. So any situation, I said you live in the VUCA world. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what kind of jobs exist in the times to come. So by doing a Cambridge curriculum, you're ensuring that your child is prepared for the world. And they can go into an Indian institute very much. They can go into any Mumbai University college after they do their A-levels, or even after 10th, you can go into any kind of college that you want. Cambridge is recognized by the Mumbai University and very clearly by the secondary education. So children move out after 10th, they can move out after 12th. There is no problem. I said the The doors are open. The world is open. In that world, even India is there. So it's not that India is not there. So your child can go to any institute that they want to do. If they want to continue in an international qualification in India, there are institutions like Shiv Nadar University, Podar World College, Flame University, All India Universities. They all take Cambridge curriculum students in these universities too. And I think there was another question. My son is in 7th, currently doing CBSE.
I was just about to come to that question.
Yeah, there are no difficulties. It is a seamless shift. It's definitely a very, very seamless shift. I have many students who come in at grade 5, grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, after grade 10th also. But the sooner that you join the Cambridge curriculum, the better it is for you in the future, because your base gets stronger. And once you're in that system, it's easier for you to go further. However, there is no prerequisite for entering into a Cambridge curriculum at any particular stage that you're trying to enter. So it's an easy transition from grade 7 to 8.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am, for that. And I think we'll take a couple of more questions, whatever we can in the next 5 minutes. And I would request parents to please bear with us, because of course time is a limit that we have, and we definitely can't stretch that too much, but we'll definitely answer your questions. My colleague from Cambridge is also already giving you certain links on the chat box to answer, which is there.
I love that question. Which is the best IGCSE school in Maharashtra?
I know. I think
there are many schools. There are
many schools and all schools.
All schools do very well. Depends on where you are staying in Maharashtra. There are many in Mumbai. There are many in Pune. So all over Maharashtra and Nagpur, anywhere you go, you'll find a Cambridge school, 100%. And they all do well because they are well supported by Cambridge.
There's another question that's coming up quite a number of times. It's about the access arrangements. How does Cambridge support us special children, the special education needs? If you could just throw a little bit of light on that.
At my school, we have a policy. We are an inclusive school, and most schools are inclusive nowadays. And Cambridge gives very good support to students who have various learning difficulties. When I say learning difficulties, whether if it is learning disability, dyslexia, dysgraphia, or dyscalculia, there is a reader-writer, 25% more time for those students. I still remember that I had a student who was visually impaired, and Cambridge allowed us to use various tools which were helpful for him using the technology. So I think that Cambridge is very supportive and is inclusive. So there is a 25% more time, and there's a reader-writer for students with various learning difficulties. You have to just you have to have your test report, your educational psychological report, submit it to the head of the school. The head of the school, then the Cambridge exam officer goes through it, submits it to Cambridge, and you get all your support from Cambridge.
Thank you, ma'am. So to add on that, so Cambridge has different kinds of access arrangements that we call about like ma'am has already mentioned about 25% extra time, and also for visually impaired children there are. So for different kinds of difficulties, whether it's physically challenged difficulty or it's a learning difficulty which is there. So Cambridge definitely provides a lot of different kinds of arrangements which is there. So whichever school your child is in, the school will help you with that. And if you need to have the reports that are necessary, which is there.
There's also bilingual dictionaries available.
Yes.
So I make it very simple, and I say there's a lot of support from Cambridge for all kinds of difficulties that children face.
Okay, so I think there's some questions that's coming up about the subject choices after grade 8?
Yeah, so there is a clear bifurcation of subject choices that you can do. Supposing you want to specialize and get into medicine, you take the 3 sciences and you take a language, you take 2 languages and you take maths. That's it. You do it and you can go ahead. If you want to do business management and you want to get into economics, or you want to do chartered accountancy, then you can do English, you can do another second language in IGCSE. In A-levels, you just need to have 4 subjects. English is mandatory. If you want to get into medicine, you do English and 3 sciences. If you want to get into engineering, you do English and you do physics, chem, and maths. If you want to do management, you do English, business, eco, and you can do computer science. So very, very clearly, there in IGCSE, and if you want to do liberal arts, you can do art and design, psychology, English, maths. So it depends on what your child's interest is. In IGCSE, you can do right from 6 subjects to 8 subjects, 9 subjects, depends on how many you want to do. Cambridge is very, very flexible and adaptable to students' needs. So you can choose what you want. The best part, again, about the Cambridge curriculum is that if I'm not good at maths, I can take core maths. Someone is good, can take extended maths. Somebody is very good, you can take international maths, additional maths. There's all kinds of maths. If you're not good in a particular subject, you can take it at a core level and you can choose your field. So I have children who don't take history, geography at all. They're very keen on going the science way. So they'll take 3 sciences and they'll take a maths and they'll go forward. If they want to get into chartered accountancy, they'll do accounts. We start accounting from grade 9. So you can do accounts from grade 9. You can do business and eco and get into that field. So there's a clear selection of subjects depending on your child's interest. So in A-levels, you do only 1 language. English is mandatory, and any 3 subjects. You dive deep for 2 levels, 2 years, and you can basically do. And now Cambridge has introduced marine science, design and thinking, digital literacy. There's so much more that is coming up at Cambridge, which is, we do food and technology is a nice subject that children do at grade 10. So there's lots of choices that the children have. Art and design is a very good subject. Again, you can do at IGCSE and A-levels. So whatever field you want to specialize, you can start from grade 8 and go up to grade 12.
So there's, I'll just add on to what ma'am has said. So IGCSE offers 70 subjects and AS and A-level offers 55 subjects. So there's a wide area of subjects, like ma'am mentioned, that from which students can select as per their choice, their interest, their ability and capability. And with that, definitely the counselors who are there in the schools, they are the ones who will help them. So there's a question related to that. Are academic counselors must in every Cambridge school or optional? Do they guide us with their choice of subjects or higher grades?
I think we have an academic counselor very clearly. That's the first thing that we do is when we grant admission to find out the child's interest and also then do a proper profile building of every child in the school, right from the time they enter the secondary school, and see, for example, they don't like the sciences, so they do EVM. Okay, as a fabulous subject that Cambridge has come up with, environmental management. So there's a lot of scope in environmental management. So it depends. Again, yes, it is good to have a good school counselor who understands right from grade 8 onwards what is required till grade 10, and then following grade 11th and 12th, and then how do you go to which university. So you do a complete profile building, and it is continuum. If I want to go into flying, I will take only maths and physics, because that's what is required to get into flying or to get into architect. If you want to get into kind of medicine, then it's different. If I want to get to mass media, it's different. I want to get to law, I'll do business and eco. So it depends on what field you want to. And counselor plays a very important role. in a school. And I think it is a must. It should be a must. I don't know about other schools, but we do have a counselor. And I think for last 30 years, I've been doing this counseling for students. So you become, all of us ensure that you build the profile of the child so that university and college application, when you fill, there's a clear understanding of what you need to put in. You need to put in everything there to ensure that they get into good university. It's not easy.
So all schools definitely have these academic counselors which help and guide students and support the students and parents to understand what should be the career pathway. If your child is confused, no problem. I think that's quite normal to be confused. There's another very interesting question, ma'am. What is the role and importance of teacher and mentors in Cambridge board as compared to ICC and CBSE board?
The role of the teacher.
The role of the teachers and mentors.
I think the role of the teacher is to make sure children are happy. And I think that's the key. If the teacher can connect with the students, I think that's the key. I say a role, the first thing I tell the teachers that you need to connect with the students. It's not like the old times, the way we went to school where we were scared of our teachers. If you're scared of the teacher, you will never, ever grow. You'll never be able to get there. So I think the first thing that is required from the teachers, and I say that everywhere I go, is to ensure that you connect with the students. And I think the role of the teacher is to ensure that she reads. Okay, my daughter teases me every day. What is it that till today you read and go to the class? I said, I don't know which student will pop up with what question today. And, so you have to read every day, even though I've taught the same subject for the last 25 years. So read. Ensure that you read all the resources that are there and have mastery of the subject. I think personal mastery is something that is required, and learning is lifelong. Even till today, I'm learning. I don't feel
all of us, I think, are learning
is lifelong. So every teacher needs to keep that in mind, that it's a continuous learning, and continuously you have to ensure that you support the students, scaffold with the students, encourage students. And teacher has to remain updated or she'll be outdated. Research is one of the most important skill that teachers need to keep in mind. Use innovative resources. And I think not be a sage on the stage, but a guide by the side. And teacher definitely is a facilitator. We have to keep that in mind.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Vandana. I think you have summed it up very nicely. So the role of a teacher is definitely to make the learners happy and safe.
Yes.
And have a wonderful learning environment with that.
Yeah. So I say 3 words. Teacher has to create stimulating environment, safe environment, and supportive. Stimulating, safe, and supportive. I think these 3 words are core.
And that's what Cambridge, of course, talks about in the Cambridge teacher attributes as well, that it helps in building teachers who have these kinds of qualities, which is there. So with this, I think we come to an end. We have answered most of the queries. May I request parents to please fill up the feedback form. There's a feedback form that is being shared. Your opinion and your feedback matters. If you have any queries, please write it down. We'll definitely get back to you with them. With the constraint of time, we can't answer everything, but we have covered grossly almost all the questions and the queries that were there. But in case if you still have anything and you want to know more, please write it in the feedback form, which is being shared in the chat box. I'll share it once again along with all of you. And the feedback form link has been posted over here. Once again, please feel free to fill it up. And with this, we come to an end of today's session, which is there. So again, once again, wishing everybody happy Navratri and Shubha Shashti. Namaste and have a wonderful evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Vandana, for joining us today. And thank you, parents, for showing your enthusiasm.
So thank you, Cambridge, and thank you, Bernardi, for the lovely conversation this evening. And I hope the parents enjoyed it, and feel free to communicate and ask questions, because asking questions is the best way to be a lifelong learner.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.